So, Jacqui, the CEO of Moderna released a statement overnight. Weird that it was announced by them and not our government?
I think it's all very weird.
Wow, that's a huge sigh for a Thursday morning.
Can you please let me just know when it's here and we've got millions of them and whether or not it's definitely safe? That would be wonderful. So, you know, I'm still trying to work out how I can lie that I'm under 50 instead of saying that I'm 50 so I can get the Pfizer shot. So I'm still working on that, actually, to be honest with you, how I can change the date of birth on my licence. But yeah, I find it really, really strange to just come out of nowhere. It's like, OK, well, give us some hope, that's fine, but when's it going to be delivered? And if we're making it here, when's this technology coming so we can make it here? You know, so a little bit more substance to what's going on would be good.
Yeah, I mean, reading this statement from Moderna overnight, and then we've been chasing the government this morning for confirmation, but which is yet to come through. But, Chris, 10 million doses delivered this year, supposedly. A further 5, obviously, if it's approved by the TGA. This, of course, as we heard the Prime Minister last night, abandoned any commitment to a vaccine timeline. It's all pretty confusing, isn't it?
I like the fact that the pharmaceuticals decide when they will send you what. The politicians don't announce it at the front with a flag behind them and say, look what we've done. And maybe they've been tripped up here. I'm sure the Prime Minister's office didn't think that this was the way they were going to announce a third vaccine. 3 or 4 maybe. We could get the Novavax as well before the end of the year. So we've got 5 million people with the choice. But right out there at the front line, it's really confusing about how quick you can get your own vaccine. Like I rang one GP, the place that I usually go, my local GP, I had to wait until the middle of October to get AstraZeneca, over 50, all that. Then I rang one further down the road, and I mean further down the road, someone I used to go to, which is a bulk billing place, they said, you can come in on Friday, no problem. So, like, people must think to themselves, what's going on? It's so higgledy-piggledy. But I'll be getting mine on Saturday on my radio program.
Will you?
Yeah,
live
to tell people that I'm confident about it, that I've seen all the ratios, I've seen all the literature. The British study on Monday that came out and said that both Pfizer and AstraZeneca were effective and safe. And when it comes to vaccines, the numbers are in their favour.
Yeah, I think people are getting more on board with getting the vaccine, but we still know, Jacqui, supply has been an issue. To see from this Moderna statement overnight that they're talking about potentially manufacturing it here, that is a big move, isn't it?
Oh, it's certainly a big move. It's just a matter of, you know, first of all, can we actually make it happen? And secondly, when is that going to happen? And, you know, I think it's about time. They've been going on about manufacturing. We'll get on with it. If you want a country of manufacturing, we are an island nation, and if you want to be more self-sufficient, if this wasn't a warning for us going through COVID, that we have very little self-sufficiency. As a matter of fact, we can't even make a pen in Australia. Most of our stuff is made from China. If that's not a wake-up call, then I don't know what's going to give us that wake-up call, to be honest.
Hey, Jacqui, can I just ask you too what you thought of the budget?
Yeah, look, I think, you know, when I first came in, we had that horror budget from Tony Abbott, and she was a horror budget and he blew us all off her chair. To me, it's nearly like having a scratch on a car, you know, and if you don't fix it, it goes rusty. So it wasn't just that they've thrown that money out there. That money needed to be put out there. There's no doubt about that right across the board, whether it's aged care, whether it's our own children in care, giving a little bit of extra money out there as well. So right across the board. This has money been a long time coming that has been held off. So does it mean we're going to an election early? I would hope not, because what I'm hoping for, if you think this is going to work, then stay in the game until you're supposed to go to an election next year in April, May, and let's see whether or not you can actually roll that money out effectively and well targeted, and see if we can actually make change with it.
It certainly sounds like an election sweetener, but we did hear from the Prime Minister yesterday. He confirmed that the election will be next year. So let's see if he sticks to that. Now, I do want to talk about one of the more controversial budget announcements. That's the plan to keep our international borders shut for at least another year. But there is a big exception this morning. New South Wales will be accepting international students within weeks. Chris, I mean, the only problem I have with this is we still have Aussies stranded overseas who can't get homes. We've still got families who are separated. We're now hearing for at least another year. But if you're a foreign student and you've got a bit of cash, you can come straight in. Is that fair?
Well, what New South Wales is doing is trying to generate and stimulate an economy. And they know how much that happens when we start to take students back in. And I like the we can make it happen, the glass half full approach that New South Wales has had throughout this pandemic. And surely, with all the accommodation, the residency halls that exist in every university, or just about every university, surely the tertiary sector can find accommodation headquarters, quarantine headquarters within their accommodation halls to make this work. And we can equip them the way we equip a hotel, for instance. Surely we can make it happen. And yes, you're right about the fact we're discriminating. We're discriminating because we need the stimulation to keep businesses afloat, to keep, you know, all those places that are empty and the rentals that are no longer full. We need to do something about that. At least we're thinking about it, and at least Dominic Perrottet is saying, we can make this happen. Let's just go down the track and try and create a model that everyone's happy with.
Yeah, I mean, the university sector definitely needs it. We've seen leaks in hotel quarantine.
Yeah. And there'll be leaks. There's nothing perfect. It'll be leaks. But New South Wales has proven they have clusters. They keep the clusters very small from hotel quarantine. We can do it again.
And just quickly, Jacqui, because, I mean, News Corp is also reporting this morning 14,000 Aussies were given exemptions to leave the country, sometimes up to 5 times. We've got this issue with borders, don't we, that we just don't have consistency with the policy.
No, we don't have consistency, and you know, I can understand where the strains are really bad that we can't bring our own home, but there's still people, but countries have now got this under control where we're still not bringing our own Aussies home, and I would have thought the Australian way was to make sure that they got home first and foremost, and that's probably more important to most people out there than worrying about whether or not you're a businessman coming in and out, whether you're an actor or an actress getting in and out because you're getting special treatment, and I say that too about New South Wales. You know, it would be nice. We're still having a problem with quarantine here, and once again we have not got our own Australians home, and there's still, like I said, 30-odd thousand of them out there that would like to come home. We need to be able to quarantine them, and we're talking about bringing international students in so you can keep your universities above ground. I just find this absolutely a slap in the face, and I'm sure those many Australians still stuck overseas will see that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that has been the response a little this morning, but important to note too that the flights from India will resume in the next couple of days, so we'll start bringing those vulnerable Aussies home. Chris, Jacqui, thanks for the chat this morning, always appreciate it. And good luck with the jab on Saturday, Chris.
Good, it'll be fine. I'll faint from the needle, that will be my problem.
Oh, come on, toughen up, would you?